Hey there everyone, Hanyou here, and welcome back to Higurashi When They Cry, Chapter 1, Onikakushi. That's still a lot to say. But anyway, welcome back. This series seems to be doing fairly well, and I am enjoying it myself, so we will be continuing along as per usual. So, I'm just going to reread this. I'm not sure if I read all of this at the end of the last episode or not, but yeah, so. I'm a man, I'll do what I can, but it's just too much. It's fine, K-chan, and leave it to this old man. Mion has never seemed as reliable as she does right now. I'd expect no less from the class representative. Rina, if we're going to eat, we might as well go at somewhere with a good view. Wah, yes. Good idea, I agree. Rina nodded her head happily in response to Mion's proposal. Cresting the top of a stone stairway, a shrine drawn straight out of my imagination appeared before us. It had worn down a bit through the years, but the fallen leaves had been swept up, giving it a tidy feeling. This here is the Furude Shrine? Probably saying that wrong. It's probably the place with the best view around. This place, be sure to remember it. On our next break, a festival will be held here. Isn't it a bit too early in the season for a festival? The Watanagashi isn't a summer festival. Long ago it used to be a celebration of the end of winter. I was embarrassed for assuming that festivals had to be held in the summer. Now then, spread out the lunchboxes, and there. Various colored lunchboxes were placed one after the other on top of the plastic sheet. It sure did smell delicious. It was Rina's home cooking. It went without saying that it would be delicious. But is it even possible to finish all of this? Hey Mion, it'll take more than just a good view to get this all down, you know? Good afternoon. It was Rika-chan and Satoko. Why are they here? Mion grinned over at me. I see. This was her secret plan, to power in numbers. You have my thanks, Mion. Following up when all the pieces are in place is my specialty. We just had to come since there was such a commotion. What's the meaning of this? Take a look. It's time for lunch, buffet style. A handmade gourmet meal by Rina. I can see that much. Why have you laid out a tarp on our property? The temple is public. Me English good, ja? The temple is public grounds, it's not yours. Keiichi is right, this is everyone's property. Wow, Rika-chan is such a good girl. Have a seat. Eat with us. After opening up a spot for Rika-chan, I promptly turned my back on Satoko. Hold on one second. Where's my spot? No spot for you and nothing for you to eat. Don't worry, there's some for you too. None. I'll eat all of hers. I will not allow that. Rika! Here, chopsticks. Both Satoko and I leapt at the boxes, having it out with each other. Man, really? K-chan, you're really good at leading people on. You might have a talent for this. Have a plate, one for me-chan and Rika-chan too. Rina whipped out pairs of chopsticks and paper plates. If we don't hurry, it'll all be eaten up. That's right, okay. Shall we commence this battle? Please eat a lot. There's enough for everyone, Rina said as she opened up a thermos. Just then, I realized that this lunch was made under the assumption that 5 people would be eating. Huh. It didn't change how much there was, but the implication behind it was different. We'll not allow you to have this hamburger. Hurt! Using your elbows against the rules, Satoko. Grabbing the back of my collar is also against the rules. It was a tough battle, blocking with her full momentum and an elbow in the opening moves. Satoko appeared to have the upper hand, but the difference in our proficiency with chopsticks proved to be fatal and gave me the upper hand. Ah, the last meatball! Satoko Hojo has been bested. Nom. Satoko and I admirably began choking at the same time, falling backwards and spasming. Rika-chan patted me on the head to clear it, even though it was actually stuck in my throat. Seeing that made Rina-chan blush and breathe heavily in excitement. It was almost like flowers were floating all around her. Mion advised Rina to refrain from saying anything that could get her locked up. This is how our meals usually go. I'd do anything in my power just so things could stay like this. Oh, why did you have to say that? That's always a bad idea to say something like that. It goes right up along there like, I'm retiring tomorrow. You just don't say that. Don't give the universe a reason to fuck with you. Because it will take whatever reason it can take to do just that. Don't tempt the universe. It's always a bad idea. The intense battle calms, and finally everyone reached a point where they could begin talking. Receiving tea from the thermos, I let out a small sigh. I wonder why there are just so few words in Japanese to praise how something tastes. Isn't it because the idea of togetherness during a meal didn't begin until the modern era? It seems that long ago people ate in silence. It must have made people preparing the food a bit sad, don't you think? It's probably because back then the people were busy even while eating and didn't have the time to complement the flavor. That's just you. However, now that I think about it, that happened basically worldwide until the modern era. In England, most meals were actually generally silently enjoyed. There was a little talking, but generally not much. Unless you look towards the Nords and their feasting halls and stuff, where that's where the stories were told and all that other type of stuff, but a lot of cultures didn't really talk much during meals. But just hearing that it's good makes me happy. That's what my effort was worth, I mean. She blushed a little as she said that. It was delicious. With absolutely perfect timing, Rika-chan struck Rina directly with praise. She looked straight at her with an expression of bewitching innocence. Ah? After Rina uttered an unintelligible noise, the roof, a ring of smoke rose from her head with an audible poof. Oh. Rika-chan, I'm gonna take you home. No, I mean, thank you. It was really delicious. Rina flushed red with excitement, embracing Rika-chan and rubbing her cheeks against hers so hard you could almost hear it. Too forward, Rika-chan, for her to praise. To reward Rika-chan for her praise. Ta-da! These are special. 2 apple rabbits. After sticking toothpicks into them, she thrust them toward Rika-chan. After Rika-chan accepted them, the mood suddenly shifted in a bizarre way. What is it, Satoko? What's with that defiant look? Has everyone prepared proper praise to receive apples from Rina-san? Don't push yourself. What kind of praise can you think up with your weak vocab? Ho ho ho, well then, allow me to show you. After Satoko flashed Mion and me a defiant look, she changed the tone of her voice suddenly. Hey. So, Rina One-chan's lunch? Satoko thought it was yummy too. Satoko looked up at her poutily while talking cutesy. What? How was that praise? That's not even persuasion by tears, that's persuasion by cuteness, isn't it? This is a Rina Limited special skill. She blushed and her head spun, waving around in circles. Don't fall for it, Rina. Aw. Of course, that was asking for the impossible. Rina glomped Satoko and began rubbing her cheek against her. Cute. Satoko's so cute. Take you home, haul. Swish. Stab. Push. Satoko was also presented with apple rabbits. After stuffing them into her mouth, she looked over at Mion and me again with that defiant gaze. It took only 5 seconds to take down Rina. That's unfair, to think she had such a trick. If it upsets you so much, why not reward Rina-san with some praise? Damn it! That was a dirty trick. First off, that wasn't even praise. Satoko, you think you've won with that, don't you? How about I show you guys something much better than your superficial gimmicks? That sounds great, Mion. What kind of trick is it? Kei-chan is going to be the one who does it. What? Oh, why don't I have you show me then? The writhing of an old maid. The plan of attack she suggested was wicked, but it was the only thing we had to beat Satoko. After sipping my tea, I started talking very naturally and calmly, perfectly. It really is good, isn't it? This is all freshly made, right? Ah, no. Actually, almost all of it was frozen stuff. Then which ones did you make fresh? Well... It's embarrassing. Do I really have to say? Must I? From the synergy of boy plus handmade lunchbox, her expression had melted into euphoria. I already know. This one, right? Rina turned an even deeper shade of red, the words, "I can't believe it," practically written on her face. How can you tell? How? That I made it. Of course, Mion had told me beforehand. It's been perfect so far. After acting like I was shy, I waited a beat. Next would be the finisher. It had your smell. Silence enveloped the area. Rena... This is terrible, but at the same time, so good. I love it. Rena, face still completely red, froze solid. With a small yelp, Satoko also blushed. Of course I did too. I sure would like to try one of Rena's homemade apple rabbits, or something. Even if it was all because I was competing against Satoko, it felt like I had crossed the line by a good 9 yards, I think. Then, at that moment... Whoosh! It was a Tupperware container filled with rabbits. Please, eat some, Keiichi-kun. There's plenty for you. Or instantly, dozens of the apples were shoved into my mouth, knocking me over. Okay, Saya, Keiichi-kun. I think we broke her. Oh, wow. Okay. My head was forcibly laid upon her lap, and even more apples were shoved into my mouth, while she was squealing. One apple after another was forced into my mouth. More and more apples. How about them apples, Satoko? Looks like we win. Kei-chan, that was a beautiful sacrifice. How's that, Satoko? This is our complete victory, isn't it? I can't believe it. Such trickery. It doesn't bother me at all. Satoko ground her teeth, mortified. We did it! I claimed victory as my consciousness drifted slowly away from me. At that time, Rena stopped her squealing and she suddenly realized something. Rika-chan, you're not eating it. Did the salt water make it too strong, maybe? Maybe? Looking over, Rika-chan had pulled the toothpick out of the apple rabbit and placed it into her cupped hands, and seemed to be at a loss for what to do. Poor Mr. Rabbit, I feel sorry for him. I want to save him. Pwee! That was the sound of blood spurting from Rena's nose. Cute, 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 cute! Tonight, I will take you home. She shook sporadically, her head wobbling back and forth. Then, coming back to her senses, she took all of the apples around me, gathered them up, and fixed them back up on a plate. Now they're all just fine, okay? Here, I'll give them to you, Rika-chan. Okay? Rika-chan raised up Satoko's hand like a referee after having that plate of rabbits shoved to her. She whispered, "This is our victory." What? A comeback? I just don't care anymore. Thus, my sacrifice ended up being in vain. Okay. Was that the end of chapter 1? I mean, chapter 2? Am I going to get new tips? No. Alright. It was a fun-filled, crazy day, but as soon as the sun began to set, the end of the day really did come quickly. Later, Rena and Kei-chan. See you tomorrow. Thanks for today, Mion. I had a great time. See you tomorrow. Satoko and Rika-chan went home as well. We parted ways with Mion and it ended up with just Rina and myself enjoying the evening air on our way home. Thanks for coming today, Keiichi-kun. Was it fun? Yeah, lots of fun. Almost feels like a waste to go home now. Then, well, would you mind taking a little detour, maybe? A detour? Is it far? It's a bit of a walk, but it won't take long. Since we had been walking around all day, I must have seemed a little tired. Seemed a bit tired. Not feeling like teasing Rina, I quietly nodded. Okay. Looks like a quarry. Traversing a small path and up a small hill, the land suddenly stretched out before us. What looked like the remains of a dilapidated construction site came into view. A large heap of garbage spread out off toward the swamp. Probably illegal dumping. I recalled it being in the newspaper. Oof-oo-foo. It's been quite a while. I wonder what's here. When you say it's been a while, you mean the business you had here was with this garbage pile? It's not garbage. To me, it's a pile of treasure. Rina had already entered that well-known cute mode of hers. So that meant there was something cute here? Whoa, a new pile. I can't wait. She bound up the unstable slope. I expect no less from a born and bred country girl. Hey, wait, I'm coming. Whoa. My city-raised self was completely pitiful. It's alright, just stay right there, Keiichi-kun, it won't take long. Rina kindly declined my accompaniment. Don't fall. Watch your step. I'm fine. This is nothing at all. Literally bounding up the heap of trash, Rina disappeared over the other side. I didn't like being left behind, but I was still pretty tired from the whole day, so I just ended up waiting. Without the lively Rina around, the surrounding area quickly fell into silence. The cry of the Higurashi gently cooled the air. Fairly exhausted, I began to feel a little sleepy. Just then, a sudden noise of scattering pebbles alerted me to somebody's presence. Startled, I turned around. Standing there was a typical-looking photographer. He spied over at me through his camera. His body was tanned and fit, but something about him seemed unreliable, and he had a bit of an aloof air about him. Well, it didn't seem like he was a bad guy in any case. Whoa. You surprised me. Although startled when I turned around, he overplayed his reaction. That was my line. I'm the one who's surprised here. My bad. I didn't mean to startle you. Are you from Hinamizawa? He's got dog tags on. Let's see. I gathered that he wasn't from that question. Unfazed by my suspicious outlook, he introduced himself without my prompting. I am Tomitake, freelance photographer. I come to Hinamizawa from time to time. I didn't ask you who you were. Quite rude to photograph someone without consent, one would think. My bad. I mainly photograph wild birds. They can't refuse, you see. So what, you're saying that I'm the same as the birds? No, well, you see, that image of a young man in the twilight was just picturesque. I apologize for taking your picture without asking. Adults are pretty slick. All that annoyance I felt for being startled just flew away as he buttered me up. I had no intention of hanging around with this guy trying to get cozy with me, except it didn't seem like Rina would be back soon. But this older guy, Tomitake, he didn't mind my cautious response and continued rambling on by himself. Keiichi-kun, sorry to keep you waiting. I'm finished now. Rina popped her head out from one of the lower piles of garbage and waved her hand. You have someone with you? What would she be doing over there? That's what I wanted to know. Don't know. Maybe she's checking on the dismembered corpse that was out here long ago. Tomitake-san looked shaken up by that for a moment. Uh-oh. I responded like I would if I were talking with Rina and the others. It was quite a disturbing incident. They still haven't found one of the arms. Keiichi-kun, sorry to keep you. You were waiting a while, I guess. I'd best leave you two lovebirds alone. Again, my apologies for startling you, Keiichi-kun. Tomitake-san chortled suggestively, then disappeared into the twilight. Missing my chance to retort put me off a bit. Keiichi-kun, are you angry? Why, I wonder. It wasn't Rina's fault, so I decided to just brush it off for now. How was it? Find a treasure trove? Oh yes, so listen, you see, there was a Colonel Sanders doll. What? Really? A Colonel Sanders doll? Oh, that thing. Those statues they always have out front of that fried chicken place. That life-size dummy? Yes, Colonel Sanders. Oh, cute. I want to take it home. I couldn't tell how she decides what's cute or not, but, well, she seems to want it. It's garbage, right? No one would care if you just take it home, right? It's become the base of another pile. I can't dig it out easily. There's no lamp posts over there, so it'll get dark pretty soon. Rina seemed quite down about finding a treasure and not being able to bring it back. I'll help you out, to repay you for that delicious picnic you prepared today. Oh, thank you. Birds heading home to roost proclaimed that nightfall would be upon us. I can take Keiichi-kun is going to help. I can take Colonel Sanders home, Hall. Rina staggered along as if intoxicated in her dreamy state of mind. I tried asking her in a way that wouldn't take her out of her cheesy state. Hey Rina, long ago, did something happen here? Seems like they were building a dam here. I don't know the details though. Oh. Just wondering if you knew about, an accident or something. I don't know. Her tone was disturbingly frank. It sounded more like a denial than an answer. I must have appeared rather dumbstruck. Rina quickly lightened her expression. Actually, I didn't live here until a year ago. Huh? You transferred here too? I was sure that... So you see, I don't really know much from before that. Sorry. don't really know, don't want to talk about it. That was the kind of feeling she gave me. Alright, we are going to end this episode here, so if you enjoyed this episode, please leave it a like. Don't forget to subscribe for more content in the future. Until next time, everybody, have a good one. I'll see you next time. Bye.